Craig, how are you?
Good. Hot though. DC is
fucking warm.
You can't do anything during the day.
No, it is, and the mosquitoes too. They'll eat your ass alive here.
The bloody mozzies are brutal out here for sure.
How has it been?
It's been good. We started this road trip up in New York. We started up there. Now we're just cruising down, and every city the car ends up in the shop. Oh, we make it out of there. We got the 89 Lincoln Town.
I was hoping you were going to pull it up here and I was going to be able to take pictures of it, but
no, it's in the shop as we speak. The power steering. I'm talking like I know anything about cars.
I don't know fuck all either. Yeah.
But probably every shop takes advantage of me. But actually, where were we? We were up in Atlantic City, and one of the gyms there, they took care of us. So they fixed the car problems at that stage. These new ones have developed here. So I lost power steering here. So I was obviously driving this boat through DC, and I started not being able to turn left. The car was turning to Zoolander.
Well, welcome to the nation's capital.
It's good to be
I have so many questions for you, but we have to start with the obvious one, which is the video you put out yesterday.
Yep.
So let's break this down. So for folks who haven't seen it, Craig Jones put out a video yesterday. It's on the B Team YouTube channel, if memory serves.
Yes, yeah.
And in it, there's a few revelations. So let's go piece by piece. One of them is, this one was not surprising to me. One of them is that B Team is basically going to be no more now. That is to say, you are leaving B Team, and the remaining people. So that's, I don't know Damien's last name. What's his last name?
Not important.
Nikki Ryan, Nikki Rod, and some other Ethan Krelson will be there as well, and they're going to rebrand. I don't know when that rebrand will happen.
Great question. I would imagine so. It's basically like the swan song, right? So New Wave and the brilliant political analyst Gordon Ryan have created Kingsway. So the era of New Wave will end. So New Wave's final competition, I imagine, will be our event. And it's kind of the same for B Team. I mean, there's really no hard feelings. I'm like kind of like the dad that went out for milk and never came back.
Yeah.
I kickstarted the gym. Now I want to pass it on to them, you know? Like, I mean, it's hard to have a gym with 5-6 owners. You know, this is like, it's kind of hard to make a profit that way, really. You know, like a jiu-jitsu gym, I reckon as a business, they function best. Single owner, he's the coach, he has the students. You can make good money doing that, but in terms of a bunch of professional athletes, it's very difficult, right? Like to have a gym that both focuses on the professional athlete side of things. And to be a professional athlete, you kind of have to be selfish. To run an academy for all people, beginners and everything, you kind of have to be a bit selfless, right? You have to look after the students. So that's the direction they want to take it in. And me, I'm never there. So it's like, for all intents and purposes, why keep it going as it is? We had a good run, so it's kind of like it fits perfect, really.
But why rebrand though?
Why rebrand? Just new beginning, and obviously, my image is quite tarnished, as you can imagine. So, like, I think a separation from me. I think, unfortunately, B Team is quite synonymous with me. B Team, I mean, we'll keep it out there. Like, we'll probably bust some merch out once in a while if something good comes along. But for those boys, for what they're starting, it's going to be kind of a different image, you know, family friendly. They want to incorporate mixed martial arts and striking because Damien does MMA. They want to go for that big gym type of feel. I keep asking them, I'm like, what's the new name going to be? Because they got their Simple Man podcast. So I'm like, Simple Man Jiu-Jitsu fits quite well against Kingswave elitist, you know?
Kingsway, that's the new Gordon one, yeah?
That's the new Gordon one. Yeah, Gordon's been on a tirade on the internet against me today.
Oh, he has.
As you can imagine, perfect grammar, perfect spelling, clear translation of the ideas he's trying to get across.
What has been his line of attack? I didn't see this.
I refuse to read it until he learns how to use paragraphs, to be honest with you. I look for the cliff notes. Honestly, I don't even know what he means half the time, but I don't know why he's angry that I'm leaving his city. He's got his gym there. I'm leaving. Take it.
Does he see it as does he see it as some kind of like victory lap or something?
Maybe. I mean, it's funny. It's like they had New Wave, now they have Kingsway. We had B Team, and then it'll probably be some sort of incarnation of Simple Man. It's kind of like we're kind of doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know what the beef is. I'm trying to put the beef aside. Me and John Danaher, we're homies again. We're friends again. It's just obviously Gordon still doesn't like me. I don't know why. been nothing but complimentary towards them, man.
Yeah, you guys have been nothing but fast friends this whole time. My producer is telling me you're a little low on the microphone. If you want to speak a little bit closer to it.
I'm just whispering these secrets.
All right, but I want to talk more about this. So, do you know when you guys decided to? Okay, how did this decision come about? Did you go to them and say, "Guys, I'm out"? Were they like, "We need to make a call here"? What was the process?
I would say it's just like kind of a logical decision, you know, like for the first 18 months to 2 years, I was slogging it out at B team. I was there twice a day, you know, like, and then even MMA coaching, I'm gone for 6 weeks. And then sometimes you decide to go to Bali on vacation, you end up there for 6 months, you know, like I'm just never around. So it was kind of coming to this point where we were just like, we were all collectively thinking it. And that's just like me. I was just like, I'm never there. Why am I attached to this physical premises? But I will say, I mean, for the students of B team, like it's going to have a new name, but you still have your gym. Really, day-to-day operations will continue. The same guys teaching the classes will be teaching the classes. Nicky Ryan's going to kind of step up into that head coach role. Unfortunately, the body he has been given is failing him. So
I've seen the rehab, though. It seems to be going.
Yeah, he's doing it now. So I'm proud of him that now he's doing rehab. For the longest time, he would not do the rehab. He'd do a little bit of rehab, but the video games would call him. But now he's given up the video games and he's really taken on board the head coach role. And I think the gym, it requires a head coach, right? You know, it's like kind of Lord of the Flies in there most of the time. But Nicky Ryan stepping up, taking over. He's the best teacher. He's the best teacher in there. You know, I think he's very good at teaching and his coaching's very good. Like I love having Nicky Ryan in my corner for matches. I hate to say I even enjoyed having Gordon in the corner. When it comes to jiu-jitsu, he has fantastic opinions. I wouldn't ask him anything else. Nicky Ryan, coaching, phenomenal. So I think like the gym's in safe hands, people in safe hands.
You're not going to miss Austin, huh?
Not a lot. You know, there are some good parts of Austin, but yeah, I mean, I don't love it too much. I don't hate these places. I just enjoy being on the move, you know? When the UFC legal summons come my way, they won't know where to find me.
When would they send you legal summons? By the way, they're just watching this as two of the most hated people that they have, I'm imagining.
Actually, before I went on Ariel, I didn't tell my lawyer and manager that I was going on there, and I just posted like 5 minutes before we went on the air, and he was like, "What have you plotted?" He's like advising me. Obviously, we had this bazooka to Dana White's head. He did not suggest that. But again, for legal purposes, that could have been any board man. They all look alike. Yeah,
fair enough. There's some plausible deniability. All right, so the other portion, of the announcement that was in the video yesterday, one was you're leaving the country, as I understand, right? Are you just going to roam like you've been doing? Because every time I'm on Instagram, it's like, well, Craig is in Istanbul, Craig is in Ukraine, Craig is in wherever the fuck. Like, is that the plan?
We're on an adventure, you know. We're seeing wherever I'm needed. Most of the time, I'm not needed there, but wherever I feel drawn to. And again, like we got a couple of big fights coming up. I imagine Volks will be fighting before the year ends. Della is going to take out Makachev. So it's like I have to put in the effort for those camps. So it's like those do take a lot of time. You know what I mean? Like again, for Volkanovski Islam 1, I spent a full 6 weeks with him, and I think I'm going to be targeting the same for the Jack Della, even though I have to be in the cultural hub of Australia of Perth for 6 weeks. But you know what? We'll pull through. We'll do it for Jack.
How is Perth? I've never been.
Don't go.
It's terrible.
I mean, honestly, as a city, the beaches, the weather, incredible. The people, terrible.
Oh. What's the equivalent here?
Oh, somewhere in West Virginia, maybe?
Oh, fuck. Really? Just West Virginia with beaches?
Yeah, it's the most isolated city in Australia, and that's for a reason.
Right. Fair enough. But then there was a last component to the announcement. If you would, I'm going to slide over just a little bit and come this way just to get you more info. Yeah, there you go. That's better.
Sorry,
no, that's all right. Listen, it's a narrow thing. We're working with the studio.
Looks intimidating me. He's too big. I keep backing away from him.
I know. I look like a different species next to you. It's really quite remarkable. But the other part, I will tell you, it kind of broke my heart a little bit to see the last part of the announcement, which was like the match against Gable Stevenson, which of course will culminate CJI 2 later in August. After that, you're donezo. And then I saw on Reddit you say you were going to vanish.
Yeah.
So what is happening with you after CJI? We'll talk about CJI in just a second, but what's happening?
Who knows? That's the mystery, you know. Maybe we disappear for a while, we come back.
Are you sick of it all?
I mean, it is quite challenging. It is a lot of work, but I really don't give myself a chance to take a break. So it's like a forced break. You know what I mean? I'm forcing myself to take a break. I'll plan to take a break after CGI1, but I got a bit too excited in Colombia. I didn't disappear from socials for a while. So, yeah.
It's so funny. I've been going to Colombia for almost 15 years. My wife is from there.
I love the clarification there.
Yeah. I'm not a passport bro.
He's there for the culture now.
Well, I was just going to say, I remember I saw you. So it's so funny. I went to Cartagena once, and then you went like, right. This is after the first CJI, if memory serves. So I was actually in Cartagena, I think, right around that time, and then you went after me. And then I saw some of the places you were hanging out. I could spot them all almost. But then I saw you were downtown and you had armed security, and I was like, "Yeah, we're having different experiences in Cartagena at this point."
Yeah, and honestly, I probably needed it with what we were doing down there. We were drawing a lot of attention to ourselves. The armed security for what we were doing, probably necessary. Just that level of throwing caution to the wind on the Colombian streets.
You know, it's so funny you bring this up because people always ask me, like, what are your recommendations for Colombia? But like, I didn't, well, here's the truth. I didn't realize how, if you travel to Colombia with somebody from there and they kind of guide you and keep you off of that, like you can have a great experience, but it's very careful. I didn't realize how careful my in-laws were being and taking care of me there. And then I see these like stories from other people who go and they're like, X happened to me, Y happened to me. You got the burundanga, didn't you? The scopolamine, like the...
Yeah, I did get drugged, and I was not the one that drugged myself in that situation. Yeah, that shit's brutal. Honestly, that's like anesthetic. I couldn't remember anything, but... Like,
that happened to my wife's uncle. They got him, and they emptied out his ATM, and they emptied out part of his apartment, too.
Shit. I always thought, you know what? A part of me, because I watched the old Vice doc, I always used to think it was, it's a bit of a myth. You know, it's like,
no, it's not.
It's the husband that goes, oh shit, I spent all the money last night. I must have been robbed. I must have been drugged, you know? But yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Also, I've never been to Medellin, but I heard that's like the epicenter of gringos getting their shit taken.
That's for sure. Yeah, there are some men aiming for women above their pay grade in those regions, and I think that cost them in the long run. But yeah, I mean, Medellin's beautiful. Like in terms of like city views and stuff. Like we stayed in an Airbnb. I was there for 6 weeks. Honestly, I just stayed there till I got drugged, and I was like, we better get out of here. But yeah, Medellin's beautiful city. I mean, if you're smart, you can avoid the trouble. Honestly, like
yes.
It's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious where that trouble lies. You know, but great time.
Yeah, fair enough. Now, getting back to this about what you're going to do, are we only going to see you when you corner like Volk or JDM or?
I honestly don't know. Like, I'm just focused on CGI and then just having a forced break. If I feel the need to come back, I'll come back. But yeah, that's it, basically.
What are you going to do with your life if you don't come back?
I mean, I feel like that's the question most people ask every morning anyway, and just pretend they have the answers. But
yeah, but we're all on traditional paths. Yours is a little bit more unusual.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we'll do afterwards, but I think actually we've got the Guardian project, and we're just finishing building a school in Peru. So I'll probably lay low in Peru. And you
got to be careful there. Insecurity is real.
That's true. Yeah, Peru. I mean, it's a dangerous place too. We're dangerous of having a good time, but yeah, I want to see like we put a lot of money from CGI1 and the planned profits of CGI2 into building a school in the northwest of Peru. So we built this school for the kids over there. Guardian project, incredible project. They have schools all around the world. We just visited the one in Baltimore, but yeah, they do a lot for teaching underprivileged kids jiu-jitsu, and we've just like built a facility for them because the school in Peru sort of reached capacity. So do a lot of fun programs. Like if the kids train, they get meals, they get English lessons and stuff like that. And then obviously you get the benefits of jiu-jitsu itself, discipline, self-reliance.
Hey, is this your first time in Baltimore?
First time in Baltimore, yeah. I thought I was expert because I watched The Wire, but I don't know. I feel like I stood out in the car down there, but I got a lot of respect from all people.
I would imagine that car was popular in Baltimore city limits.
I haven't been pulled over yet. I think obviously they see the car, the cops, and they see who's driving, and they think, let it go. I don't know, a bit of profiling, man.
All right. I will tell you, my first thought when I saw the video yesterday, first of all, it was very well produced. But that aside,
I actually edited them myself.
Shut the fuck up. Do you?
Yeah.
You do?
Nah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what really stood out to me about it was, how worried should I be about the future of jiu-jitsu? Here's what I mean. Not so much its popularity as such, but you're the only guy I can see vocally making a case for basic labor rights / financial literacy. And if you take a break, I don't know who else does that in the space. And for that reason, what happens in your absence? Like, I mean, I realize it's not all on you. I'm just saying it would leave a vacuum in place that I don't think would be easily filled.
Yeah. I mean, that's the mission with CJI was really to like help the athletes out, give back. Like, I think like, I've been blessed by people being very forgiving of my humor just for being Australian. So I've been able to get away with a lot on social media. I feel like a lot of the times people see what I post and they just see the good in it. You know what I mean? They ignore a lot of the dark undertones of those posts, but that's helped me build a profile in the sport. That's helped me be able to make money for myself. So I know the challenges athletes have of like trying to make money for themselves and really not to be used by promoters out there. So I really wanted to provide them an alternative, and I think I set the grounds for it. I mean, there's still a pretty damn good chance we'll do CGI 3. Unless we eat a massive loss on CGI 2.
I was going to say, like, it sounds to me like there's not a guarantee at all that there will be a CGI 3. There could be, but it's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's any guarantees. Like, I mean, honestly, it's not my money. I wish it was my money. I do wish it was my money, but I've never won $1 million in jiu-jitsu. But the investment's there for a CGI 3. But obviously, the measure of success for me is how interested people are in the event, how engaged they are, how many people show up to the event. So it's my friend's money, so I don't want to just waste his money. He has a lot of money to waste. But at the same time, like, if the interest isn't there, it is what it is. We gave it a good crack. I think we elevated the sport with CGI 1, CGI 2, using the quintet-style teams format. I think people are just going to be amazed at how exciting grappling can be. No doubt, if there is no CGI 3, UFC will still CGI 2's format and probably run with that next year. But they owe me some consulting fees, honestly. I hear they pay well. But CGI 3, I'll come back. I mean, if the sport needs me, I'll come back. But if I think the sport's doing okay, we'll let it ride. All right.
I don't know. What level of concern do you have that the UFC will be able to monopolize sport jiu-jitsu?
I mean, the problem is that like what you said about like labor rights. So it's like the best YouTube comment I've read on my series so far is it's like Craig is slowly going insane explaining labor rights to cavemen. And that's the most accurate.
The financial literacy among the athletes in this business is it's not high.
It's not high. And you know what? Even the people in the sport that are at the top that you think are intelligent, obviously we're not talking about the best of the best here, but there are elite level athletes. One of them in particular who was signed to not UFC, but he was signed to an organization previous that generally have some pretty strict contracts. I remember I was trying to get him to do CJI 1. And I said, well, what does your contract say? And this is a guy that studied law. I believe his sister's a lawyer. And he's like, I didn't read the contract. I just signed it.
Jesus fuck.
So like when some of the elite level guys, even the guys at the top of the sport, don't read contracts, I think that's almost unsalvageable.
Jesus. I'm not even sure what to say about that. Can I tell you I have a fear about it? Let me give you a theory. See what you think about this.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So I don't know if you saw this. I mean, there were other factors I could point to that would buttress this, but certainly the UFC is going to sign. Let's talk about the MMA side. So on the UFC side of MMA, I mean, I say UFC, I mean TKO, but on the UFC side, they're about to sign a new television deal. And certainly for the life of that deal, it's going to be extremely lucrative, potentially up to $1 billion a year, right? So like they're fine in that sense. But there's a lot of broader data that indicates MMA is in decline. And one of the things that came out interestingly was there was some data from Tapology. I'm sure you've used the website before. The amount of global MMA events is steadily declining year over year, including in USA, Brazil, and Russia, the top 3 markets. Now, there are some differences there. Japan's on the up. Europe's certainly on the up. I'm not sure where Australia fits into the conversation, but it's not a great sign. And of course, if anybody who works in this business knows that the numbers are down more broadly. But then you look at what they're doing in boxing. They're trying to get the portion of the Ali Act amended so that they can get their own titles put in, which is currently literally fucking illegal. They want to just rip out federal portions of federal legislation, and now they're getting into BJJ. It looks to me like they kind of see where MMA is headed, that they will be able to control it and be lucrative, but the pie will shrink. Why not just expand the reach? They already have WWE. They already have UFC. If they can take over with Saudi money boxing, great. And then, of course, BJJ is, you would think, relative to those things, there for the taking, and this would consolidate their position relative to declines in MMA. What do you make of this idea of mine?
Well, I don't think the US has been in a better position to fight against corruption and monopolies than it has right now today.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I think, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is like, I think they can do it and there would be no consequences to it. So it's like, it's quite an uphill battle in that sense, you know, like I don't think the monopoly laws are going to be implemented. You know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be any pushback at all. Obviously, there was a big settlement case recently, but I think that took like 10 years.
It did take 10 years, yes. Although there's new ones. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yeah, I did speak to that lawyer. That lawyer did reach out to me. Actually.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. So I spoke to him briefly. Nothing serious, but yeah, I spoke to him.
Eric,
yeah, the main guy. I forget.
Well, there's two different. Well, okay, yeah,
the $330 million settlement.
Yeah, 375 million. They bumped it up a little bit. Yeah,
bumped it up. Yeah, so I mean, I spoke to him. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I have quite a negative view on the direction of sort of corruption overall. I think in the country generally. So it's like we would be fighting an uphill battle. But I think in terms of like what you're saying about declining viewership across the board in MMA, I just think it's less interesting now. Like what I really appreciated about Japanese MMA was the show they put on. Even recently when we watched the boxing fight where the dads fought and then their sons fought, and like the production level of that in Britain.
Eubank Ben.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was insane.
Incredible.
Yep.
So much effort. Even like what the UFC did when they had the event at the Sphere. Like I think all those little things really help get people excited. Like you're actually seeing something incredible. But like the problem is they've got such a good formula for profit that there's really not a lot of creative effort put into the production side of things, or really even the storytelling. Like, I mean, even like to be honest, the countdown show is kind of pretty boring, pretty cookie cutter, you know, like I remember back in the day, like when BJ Penn fought GSP in the rematch, like those preview shows, even
I think that was called Prime Time.
Yeah. Like the production level on those, like they took chances. There was a lot of creative energy put in. They felt like they cared a lot about it. I feel like when that starts to diminish at the top, it's going to translate to interest in the sport, right?
I have a theory. My sister and my brother used to. They don't, not anymore. They closed it up, but they used to own a restaurant. And I remember I came back from Spain one time. Have you been to Spain?
Yep.
Yeah, I love Spain. And I remember you'd go into these restaurants and they would be like the size of this room, and you'd be like, but the food would be just fire everywhere you went. And they explained to me, like, it's not a coincidence that like the more food you have to prep each day and deliver each day, the harder it becomes to do, which is why banquet food is like, it's not bad, but it's assembly line, it's formulaic. Just feels a little bit like MMA is kind of like banquet food right now.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, I mean, like, obviously, if you get offered lucrative contracts and you have to deliver a certain amount of shows, then you're going to have to split those interesting fights up over the course of the show. Obviously, depending on the athlete, they're going to be able to fight more, get paid potentially more for more fights. But I do miss the days when it was like one pay-per-view a month. Everyone was going crazy, hyped. The whole thing was stacked, you know. But I mean, maybe that's me just reminiscing, but I do agree with what you're saying here. And that's why I only want to do CGI once a year. Like, it's like one Super Bowl event per year that wouldn't interfere with any other events.
Right.
Know? It's a chance for the athletes to make money. It's not behind a paywall. It shouldn't conflict with other organizations. If their athletes do well, that's going to make their athlete more valuable to them. But on the counter to that, the athlete could get hurt. Their athlete could win that $1 million and be like, hey, bump the paycheck up. You know what I mean? So like CGI, by providing leverage to the individual athletes, is really, I think, a scary thing for anyone that would try to control an industry.
Let's talk about the tour you're on. So obviously, like, you started in New York.
Yep.
Did you go to Philly at all?
On the outskirts of Philly. Where did we go? We went New York to Atlantic City.
That's the land that time forgot. Holy shit.
We're trying to go like Hunter S. Thompson sort of vibes here on the campaign trail, right? So we're just trying to hit a lot of obscure spots. I don't even know where we're going after this today. I mean, we left the car in, I think, safe hands. The mechanics said they'd have a look at it. But yeah, let's see. Maybe I was thinking about driving through West Virginia after this, but we're just winging it. Like I call it a bit of a farewell tour. I just want to just pull up to gyms and train with the real people in the country that are like don't generally have access. That's something I really appreciate, because when I came up in the sport, Adelaide, Australia, we didn't have too many high-level guys pass through. So it's always been in the back of my mind. It's like I try to visit destinations that don't have access, like places like Venezuela. Like I try to hit these spots, even Ukraine, try to train with the boys in Ukraine and stuff like that. Like, so that's one way I'm trying to grow the sport of jiu-jitsu. It's just showing up, hanging out with them, rolling with them. You know what I mean? It really helps.
Where is Lachlan from? Giles.
Lachlan's Melbourne, born and raised, still in Melbourne today.
Okay. I didn't know if I'm not too familiar with like how the Aussies split out down the country. Where did you train here in DC yesterday?
Oh, I actually trained because the captain of the America team, or the coach of the America team, is a guy called Greg Souders.
Dude, I used to train under Greg Souders.
Oh, really?
Years ago. Like maybe I'm not even bullshitting. Maybe 10 years ago. I like Greg a lot. I know people get all over his case about the ecological thing. Dude, he's one of the fucking best instructors I've ever had. Like, no bullshit. Greg, he left the school I was at, and I sent him a note even telling him how fucking good he was, because I was so bummed when I found out he left. So you were in what, Crazy 88?
No, he teaches now at, oh man, I should remember the name of the gym. Standard Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, out in Maryland.
Maryland,
Yes.
yeah. I think, 30 minutes away?
Give or take, yeah.
But he's got two guys in his team from his gym, the Corbet brothers. So we went down there. I rolled with them 10 minutes each. That was enough for me. The cardio was absent. But yeah, we just checked in with him, watched him how he runs the room. You know, like I think a lot of people get caught up in his aggressive interview energy, but yeah, lovely guy from my experience, and he has a good heart. Like he's trying to change the sport of jiu-jitsu through the way he coaches, and like from everything I can see, he's running it like a professional wrestling room, like a practice room. It's a room for practice. Yeah. So it's like there's a lot of marketing in there, right? Like no drilling and stuff like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think his heart's in the right place.
Well, when he was teaching at the time, this must have been, I'm gonna guess here, circa 2016, something like that. I could be wrong about that. I don't know if he had like what we would call today an ecological approach, but just the first time I ever trained with him, I remember thinking I'd never had an instructor who we were doing guard passing in the gi, how he could just connect all the dots through like, well, here's what the objective is. Here's what your assignment is to reach the objective. Here's why. And I remember being like, because you go to a lot of jiu-jitsu schools and they're like, all right, we're going to train guillotines today. You know what I mean? And they kind of mechanically show you how it's done, but they don't really explain why things are the way they are. I don't know. I thought he was fucking awesome. So
yeah, I think, it's just goal-orientated training, right? And it's like allowing people to be creative in the pursuit of the goal, whether that be a position or a submission. So I think like any room with high-level guys that allows for creativity and discussion is going to deliver good students. And DeAndre Corbet in particular, just won $100,000 at Zapatero and beat some of the best guys in his weight division in the sport. So he's done a very good job with DeAndre Corbet.
So you might go to West Virginia. So my understanding was from the plan was to basically hit the East Coast.
You know, I'm not a big plan guy, you know.
Okay, the tentative plan was to hit the East Coast, right? And then hit the West Coast. And at the end of the West Coast run, just essentially head into Vegas for CJI, right? That's the plan?
That's the plan.
I see. Okay. So between now, so the plan is to hit, are you going to go all the way down to Florida?
Yeah, so I'm going to hit up Flow Grappling, have an event, Who's Number One, and my boy Owen Jones is competing against Gianni Gruppo on that, and that has some real interesting matchups. My buddy Kit Dale's competing in the main event.
Another Aussie pioneer to an extent, yeah?
Another bloody Aussie. Now, he's basically come out of retirement. Like, he disappeared for a while, but now he's making a run for it again, and he's always been one of the most talented guys I've ever trained with. We actually competed against each other one time, but it was a bit of a fake match because we're friends. But, yeah, he's phenomenal. So it's great to see him coming back. He actually did the CGI trials in Australia and put on a really, really good performance. And he was one of the guys I think paved the way, shaped me early in my career, because he was being an idiot, making stupid videos, funny videos and stuff like that. And I saw how that helped him transcend the regular sort of jiu-jitsu field. It helped him stand out, make money in the sport and stuff like that. So I would say Kid Dow was very influential on sort of me being a professional idiot myself. I
remember him distinctly for two reasons. One, he got his black belt very quickly. Yeah. And I think because he had some kind of, at the time, he had
Moneybird quick.
So this is Moneybird. I forget it. What's his first name?
Derek.
This is the guy who got his black belt in like literally what they say 3.5 years at 46 years old. Motherfucker, I'm 45. It hurts to nap on one side. Like have a very hard time believing that that's even achievable, even for like a Terrell Owens level athlete. But okay, that aside. And then the other part was to the funny videos. I mean, he made a foray into acting for a while. Kid Dale did, right? I recall that.
He did. His brother is actually like quite a good director. His brother's like stood out in the directing field. So like I think both of those guys have worked together a lot. But yeah, Kit did have a bit of a foray into acting. You
know what's so funny about this tour you're on? It kind of occurred to me when I heard about it. I was like, dude, this sounds like a political campaign.
That's what we're thinking with like Hunter S. Thompson on the campaign.
Dude, just handshaking people, grassroots, door to door. That's how it's done.
Kissing people's babies without asking, that's my style. Yeah. That is actually the jiu-jitsu style, to be honest, sadly true.
Yeah, no. Oh God, that's a whole nother conversation. But like, I gotta tell you, like, dude, like, you know what's so funny about it? Like, you clown jiu-jitsu, and it's like I saw a video the other day where you were laughing at people at B Team who like open mat on Sundays. They don't go home to their families. They got nothing to do, and the whole keep jiu-jitsu gay and stuff. But it's like, dude, at the end of the day, like, I don't know anybody who loves jiu-jitsu more than you, if I can be honest. Like, the level of care you're putting into safeguarding its future. It's quite remarkable.
I'm trying to guide the culture as best I can, because it is a painful culture.
It's a mutant culture, brother. People
out there posting line quotes on Instagram and stuff like that. It's wild. Like, we need to fix it.
It's a lot of I feel like jiu-jitsu is one of those places where like people who go, that's where they get social time. Like, absent that, they don't have a lot of social time. And I'm generalizing, obviously, but it seems like that's your experience as well.
Yeah, that's fair for sure. I mean, the average dude that trains probably has a 9 to 5. He has a family, so typically speaking, they can train in the morning or at night. So busy on the weekends with the family or work. So it's really, that is pretty much their only social time. And I think it draws you away from other friends that don't train, because everyone's a bit competitive. They want to get good. They want to put in the hours and beat up their training partners. So that does become their social circle. It's kind of a cult.
For CGI 2, it's interesting, right? I want to talk about the difference in the format, but the first thing was the CGI 1 was interesting because of how
Kevin Garcia, yeah.
Well, the kiss was really quite remarkable, but no, it was so subversive because ADCC has been this established brand in the sport, and then here comes CGI, same weekends, or more or less. I said there was a slight difference, but same city, same weekend. Fuck your life. We're gonna do it this way, and it was that. But you have no ADCC backdrop this time. It's kind of floating on its own. Obviously, I wonder, has that created more challenges because you have less of a villain to antagonize?
For sure. It was always good to have a villain. I think it's like it's narrative driven, and again, that brings me back to Japanese MMA, and that evolved out of pro wrestling, right? So like, I think pro wrestling do storylines incredibly well. So I think like CGI 1 had this perfect sort of villain, and along the lines, unfortunately, that villain made some bad decisions that made life a lot easier for us. So we had this narrative of against the man. I do consider us to have a villain for this next event, and that villain would be any event that blocks their athletes from competing for us. So we do have a bit of a villain. That's a villain with a very strong legal team. And actually, for a crew of people that are anti-cancel culture, they're quite sensitive. They're quite a sensitive group of people. So
this is my favorite thing about UFC. They're like, we're the free speech place. And I'm like, they are the most censorious organization in all of sports. Dana White is easily the most sensitive guy in the entirety of combat sports. Listen, they can operate their business how they want, and it's obviously been very successful, but the claim that what they're committed to is the free expression of ideas is fucking comical.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, they are free speech for some things, but yeah, they do
slurs.
Yeah. Bryce Mitchell, marketing manager over there, but we do, for us, like, it is difficult in this sense because like it's hard to villainize an organization that kids grew up watching and idealize.
Right.
So it's like, people will take smaller paychecks to be associated with that organization, and that's kind of the dream. They do sell these athletes.
They do that in MMA too.
Yeah. So it's like, we do have an uphill battle here, and I don't really think we necessarily need a villain for this event. Like, for me, what I'm so invested in is basically, I wanted to show CGI 1 the perfect format. Like, obviously we stole the pit and licensed it, but we stole it. We wanted to show the perfect format for like an individual tournament style, but it's always been my dream to showcase Quintet as I imagined it, which is sort of like a 5-on-5 last man standing type of thing. Like, I don't think there would be a more exciting thing in the sport of jiu-jitsu than to see one athlete submit 5 people in a row. And that's what we have the possibility to do here. So although we do, a villain arc is very nice. It is a playful villain this time. And I do have to be careful about what I say because expensive legal fees. But for this event, the main goal is really like to showcase how exciting that team aspect of jiu-jitsu can be. And it's really like a uniting factor. Like, we're over in New York and I was envisioning myself as Cyrus from the Warriors. We were uniting the gangs together.
With Warriors.
Yeah.
Come out and play. Yeah, that one.
Before he got shot down by the rival organization. But yeah, like basically like the teams are kind of like gangs and everyone's coming together to showcase the most exciting aspects of jiu-jitsu. And we've got a lot of really all-round support and grassroots support from the first one for this one. But yeah, I mean, to see like New Wave and B Team, like just being in an event together, I feel like we've already accomplished something very good with that. And really, like, it is the end of the road for both those teams. So the only chance you'll get to see to what that beef play out is at CJR2.
Why is it the end of the road?
Because obviously they're going to become Kingsway.
So is New Wave just like disintegrating?
I mean, I don't know how they're going to structure it, but they do have a new premises. It is Kingsway. I'll shout them out, even though the coach is a bit of an asshole. But I will shout them out. Kingsway, obviously, you're going to have fantastic instruction there, but you will have an alternative with the B Team boys rebranding. It'll probably be, I'm calling it out. It'll probably be called Simple Man Jiu-Jitsu or Simple Man Martial Arts.
Okay.
So the rebrand. So obviously, B Team and New Waves were the names of the teams when those that beef was real.
Right.
So if you want to see it play out, CJR2.
Okay. It sounds like the Bulls quintet thing that you did through B Team really had a very strong impact on you. It sounds like that's what inspired this whole event.
Yeah. I mean, I've done quintet before, and quintet would do super teams kind of.
Yeah.
Respect to 10th Planet. 10th Planet would participate and they would have their own team, and they always used to say, it should be real teams. Eddie Bravo never took that idea and ran with it. I stole that idea. They were preaching to the choir there. I thought the idea of real team versus real team is the most exciting, right? Like, if you do super teams, you're going to have some DuPont-like character come in and just build the best team possible. So, like, the idea of it being real teams has this sort of fairness factor to it. And I think at the end of the day, people want to see fair competition. There will be mismatches because of the weight discrepancies.
Right.
Because we're going to have a 66, 77, 88, under 99, over 99. So basically your ADCC weight division representatives from your team are going to go to war with another team.
I love it. I think it's going to be I actually think the action will be better this time. Now, obviously, it's going to be hard to reproduce what Ruotolo and Taka did last time. That's pretty special, lightning in a bottle. But to the point you raised, the format lends itself to a little craziness, it feels like.
Yes, and there's obviously Vince McMahon being a personal inspiration to me. We are stealing the Royal Rumble format, and that is the
Explain that. I mean, I know what Royal Rumble is, but how are you implementing it?
So what Quintet would do, and again, I think Quintet did a fantastic job. I just wanted to alter it slightly, but I still want to give props to Quintet. So this is, in my opinion, an incarnation of Quintet, right? So like, unlike other organizations that think ideas fall out of the sky, claim them as their own, I give credit to Quintet for this. But the way we're changing it is Quintet, you would know the 5-man lineup basically immediately, and you couldn't change that order. What we're going to have is the coaches. So it could be Nicky Ryan and John Danaher, one on each side. Nicky Ryan calls in his first guy, reveal, he comes out. Danaher calls in his first guy, he comes out. They fight it out, but the rest of the team is backstage. So based on the result of that match, and if it goes to a draw, they're both eliminated. But let's say our guy, Nicky Ryan's guy, defeats John Danaher's guy. John will have a time period to decide who he wants next.
Oh, shit.
And then we're going to do a 10-second timer on the wall. It's going to be a massive reveal. So I think just like the excitement from
a that's cool. Yeah.
Coach perspective, crowd perspective it's kind of like a bit of a Pokemon battle meets Royal Rumble here. But I mean, it's going to be phenomenal to watch. Like coaches have to make the decision on the spot. They're going to have to be like, who do I think can beat this guy? Call in Giancarlo. You know what I mean? So we're really going to see coaches at play. Whereas generally most of the coaching is done in the back. The coach is going to have to really strategically think about which of his guys can beat this next guy. So I really love that aspect of it and that reveal aspect. That's what I'm most excited for.
Prize money this time's a little bit different, right? It's not 1 million to one guy, 1 million to another. It's a little bit more evenly distributed.
That might have been unsustainable, honestly. I don't know. But
it certainly worked as a marketing gimmick. I can say that.
This time it'll be $10,002 to show up.
Right. A little bit of a bump.
Inflation adjusted, and the winning team will take home $1 million. So each athlete will take home $200,000 each.
I see.
But if you lose, you still get the 10,002.
Right. Let's talk about some of the teams. So you mentioned New Wave is on there.
Yeah, we got New Wave.
Big Dan is on the New Wave team.
Big Dan is on the New Wave team. I do owe Big Dan a sincere apology. I bullied him for a long time after the team breakup.
Yeah.
You know, that's just something that comes out of me from time to time. We have put our differences aside. Big Dan will be in New Wave. Luke Griffiths, South Africa's greatest ever grappler, will be in New Wave. Giancarlo Bodoni, two-time ADCC
He's
champion.
very good, yeah.
He's in there. And Dorian Olivares, who used to train with us, one of the best 66 guys in the world. Obviously, joined the dark side. I forgive you, Dorian, and your dad. And we will have an announcement about their 77-kilo wild card coming soon.
Did you try to get Gordon to compete? Did you even make an attempt?
No, I didn't make an attempt. It's a tough phone call to make. You know, it's a tough one to. But
you worked it out with John Danaher. I saw the Instagram photos and whatnot. Because he seemed to be level-headed about it.
Yeah, and I think that's the key factor there is that John Danaher is, at the end of the day, a level-headed individual. And John really cares about the sport of jiu-jitsu as well and where it goes. And I know John's loves Japan, loves Japanese MMA.
Right.
So
he won't stop using the language.
Yeah, he stole the language. So basically, for him to get him involved, we really have to put some differences aside, but really he sees the greater good of the event. Gordon, I don't think would compete. I think he's health issues. I think truly he's done this time.
Like no matter what, like no event, no organization, no nothing. He's cooked.
I mean, for enough money, for sure, someone could lure him back in. But I think generally speaking, he's out now. So I don't even entertain the conversation. That John told me the same thing. That John's told me a few times he's not coming back, but he comes back. But this time, I do believe that Gordon's out.
Okay. One of the interesting teams that you have, and the reason why I say this is because some of these guys were competing at ADCC last time and you couldn't get them. Michael Pixley out of Daisy Fresh, very excited about him. He obviously had a very important submission at ADCC. I'm sure I saw that that made you quite happy last time around.
Yeah, and I need to explain this, right? Because this was actually a sore point in the conversation with Danaher, right? Marigali, he does play a character for the media, and before the match, obviously he's going full Rio style, blonde, platinum hair. He's posting how he's already won. He's talking the talk.
He's like Ilya Taporia. Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately, and again, he lost, I believe it was the first or second round. I can't remember.
I think it was second. I don't think he won first.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, Pixley is an incredible wrestler, and Pixley has an incredible hip toss, whizzer kick. And sometimes us grapplers think we're better wrestlers than we are because we're wrestling with other jiu-jitsu guys. And then Pixie comes across with this elite level wrestling, and he hits it on Marigali once, and then on the second time he hits it, Marigali makes that fatal mistake, and it's an instinctual thing. If your head's going towards the ground, you post, and it injured his shoulder. And at the time, I didn't know how serious that injury was. So I did enjoy it, not just from a personal level, but because of what he'd been posting. You know what I mean? It is fun to see someone talk so much and then fall short.
Oh, yeah. Part of combat sports fandom.
But yeah, it is part of it. But I do owe Marigali apology because I do feel bad because I think he's had 3 surgeries on that shoulder.
Oh,
now. That's
fuck.
Catastrophic. Yeah, really catastrophic injury. So although in the heat of the moment, that was funny in the big picture type of thing, it's it is a huge loss of the sport to not have him competing. Even though he does this thing that causes sort of a lot of negative energy towards him, it does put pressure on him to have to perform. And I do feel bad. I don't feel bad he lost. I feel bad that he got hurt and that
you dunked on him like Prime Shaq.
Yeah. I was watching from the I think we were setting up CJ, and so I was watching on the TV screen there. And at the time I didn't think it was very funny just because it was a big win for us as an organization if one of their stars loses, especially a guy that was kind of annoying on social media. But yeah, I got no problem with Marigali. I hope he doesn't have a problem with me. I hope his shoulder heals up.
Yeah, I've had shoulder surgery. It fucking blows. So I love Pixley. Everyone thinks you have to get the D1 wrestlers, But I've always said this: you get some scrappy D2 guys. That's great for the sport too. There's plenty of talent there that can contribute in really important ways. He's one of those guys.
And Nicky Rod wasn't even D1. And look at the damage he does.
Exactly. So so we got B Team, New Wave, Daisy Fresh. 10th Planet has a team, right?
10th Planet has a team.
Who's on 10th? So I'm guessing Gio Martinez is on that, right?
Gio, PJ Bart. PJ Bart's one of the best grapplers in the world today. We've got Ryan Aitken. We've got Kyle Bame, and I feel so bad. I think I'm forgetting one name.
It's all right.
But it's a stacked. It is and Alan Sanchez as well.
Oh, okay.
So they do have a very strong team, and they didn't utilize any of the wild cards. We gave teams a wild card, basically because it is hard to fill 5 weight divisions from your own team. And some of the guys that represent smaller teams might not have found a position, right? Like their team didn't have enough people to fill the spot, but we still wanted in the event, and we like the idea of a wild card. So it's still predominantly your team, but you have that wild card option where it's like, oh, we don't have a 66er, we'll call this guy in. And that's what, I mean, B team did that. We brought in Victor Hugo. So we got Ethan Krellenstein, Joseph Chen. Joseph's one of the best, I think is the best athlete out there today in terms of a technical sense. We have, my memory's back, Chris Wojcik. We have Nicky Rod, and we have Victor Hugo. And Victor Hugo, it's great that him and Nicky Rod have come together, because Nicky Rod has lost to him 4 times, unfortunately. That Victor Hugo has proven to be his kryptonite, unfortunately. But they didn't really have any differences. But obviously, it's like Nicky Rod, it's going to be hard to have another match against Victor after they train together for this event, you know?
Sure.
So that's Nicky Rod, props to him, put his ego aside. Brought in the guy that beat him and gets to scrap with him all the time now.
Yeah, incredible. Who else are the teams that I'm missing? Is there an Australian team as well, like a super team?
Yeah, we got an Australian team. Lachlan Giles is heading that up. We got man, you're testing my memory here today. There's a lot of teams. We got Bilal. Bilal's a bit of a wild card draw there. He's like kind of an unknown, but really, really talented. I remember Lachlan Giles telling me before the trials that he thought Bilal would secure one of the spots in the team. I didn't know who Bilal was, but yeah, he proved very dangerous. They've got Declan Moody. Unfortunately, Levi had to pull out. I believe he has a back injury.
He was so fucking awesome last year, too. What a revelation he was.
Yeah, I'm super disappointed. I always feel like Levi's on the cusp. Like in the gi, he was about to do what no Aussie had ever done, I believe, at the time. And that was win a black belt world title in the gi. Everyone thought that was impossible. And he beat Lucas Lepre, and he got double DQ'd, and he disappeared for a while after the world championships. And then obviously he had his CGI performance. He did an incredible run, and now he sort of disappeared again a little bit, you know, like he's obviously dealing with some injuries and stuff, so it's sad we lost him. But we got Kenta Iwamoto replacing him, who's a guy that's trained to beat him a lot, trains a lot with Joseph Chen. We've got Lucas Cannard, and Lucas is the Aussie kid that upset Victor Hugo. So Victor was like probably the betting favorite for CGI 1 in the heavyweight division. Basically, it was going to be Victor and Nicky Rod in the finals. Lucas comes out as an unknown, way undersized, and I think he was the last guy we selected in the 16-man. We stole him from ADCC at the last second. Actually, my brother at the time was saying, no, there's this Aussie guy that's really good. So we put Lucas Cannard in, and he beats Victor Hugo first round. And that was just like, that won the submission of the tournament. It was just absolutely blown away. And then at 66 kilos, who is it in Team Australia? They're going to crucify me for this.
Wow, what a fucking traitor you are.
Yeah, they won't welcome me back now. 66, who is it? I can't remember.
It's all right. We'll share links and people can check it out on their own. And then, of course, there's 2 more things I want to get to. One, the women's side actually has a bit of a bracket this time with some big names on there, some ADCC champions on there. From actually, Adele won. She's Australian. She won ADCC last year. She's going to be at CGI this time.
She came out of nowhere. She came out of nowhere, really. Like, obviously, a lot of people in the Australian scene knew how good she was, but she just came out of nowhere and double gold. And it's like, incredible.
Holy shit, yeah.
First ADCC, double golds. Then we have Anna Vieira. Anna Vieira won ADCC in her weight division, and she beat the 3rd contestant we have in there, and that is Helena Craver. And Helena's like
a new wave. Yeah.
New wave, child prodigy. And that was props to John on this, because like when I was talking to John about being like, yo, can we please have a team new wave? Like, this wouldn't be right without a team new wave. Like, it's like we missed out on you guys for CGI 1. You guys stuck the course with ADCC, loyal to ADCC. I'm like, we need you for CGI 2. And he was a bit hesitant, but one of the things he did say is like, I really want a spot for Helena, and I was going to make sure we had something for her. And then we were able to find max out the credit card and get the 100K, which would be the largest women's prize pool in the history of grappling.
Wow. If memory serves, did Fionn Davies, like, y'all have a falling out or something like that?
It has its ups and downs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, like
I know she got. I don't know. Gordon doesn't like her, but I didn't know how that pertained to you.
That's actually probably an endearing quality in it. If Gordon doesn't like her, that's a great review of you as a human being, I think. But yeah, I love Fionn. Fionn's awesome. Fionn's paved the way in the sport as like a role model for so many women in the sport, and she was one of the first people to come across for CJI1. So like, love her for that. She donated a huge portion of her prize money to a charity group in Gaza for kids. So like, props to her for giving away so much money on that. I worked so hard to get Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie was obviously hesitant because it's like, she's been out of the game so long. You know, she's been in MMA, and MMA is a vastly different thing. Like, we see submissions in MMA, but like, Fionn's just training grappling. It's so hard. Mackenzie was the best girl at the time in her weight division back in 2015 when she won ADCC. So like, I know even from my own personal experience, like, to face the next up and comer after being away that long is a tall order. But we're able to secure Mackenzie Dern, and I wanted to show how exciting female grappling could be. And that was one of the big peaks on the broadcast. And kind of like, the falling out was me just being like a bit disappointed that she did sign a deal with the UFC. She said that she was allowed to do CGI. They had a CGI clause in there. I haven't seen the contract. I don't know. But based on my dealings with them, their athletes won't be able to do CGI. So like, I kind of like, and I might have said in a more of an emotional moment, but I was just like, oh, will you support? And other women athletes had come to me and said, well, now if I have to face Fionn, I kind of have to sign an exclusive deal with the UFC. And if you, from a pure athletic perspective, if you want to face the best, but you have to accept a contract you're not happy with to face her, I'm like, well, that puts all the other women in a bit of an awkward spot. So like, I had said some things about, obviously, if you were for the sport, for women in the sport, you wouldn't be locked down to an exclusive contract. But on the other side, I have to remember that like, she's got to take care of herself. She got to take care of making money for herself. So really no skin off her back for doing that. At the time, we hadn't conclusively locked down the 4-woman CGI division.
Got it.
So in retrospect, if I could do it again, but obviously there's so many things happen on the fly. We're trying to organize so many things, talking to all these grapplers like herding cats, you know? So it's like, at the time when I knew the UFC was entering the market, we started getting our contracts out early for these teams and these athletes. Cause it was one of those things where it's like, if they're locked in for August, they now have to, if they sign an exclusive contract, there has to be an exemption because they've already got a contractually obligated obligation to perform at our event.
Right.
So we were trying to get ahead of these exclusive contracts. And at the time, we hadn't locked down the women's prize money. We hadn't locked down the women's division. So I couldn't offer anything tangible to Fionn at the time to get her to sign. So it was a gray area. It was a disagreement, but I love Fionn. Fair
enough. Before we wrap, the super fight last year was Gabby Garcia, which was hilarious. This one is equally, maybe not equally, but I would say also there's a lot of lighthearted vibe to it. You versus Olympic champ, NCAA champ, Gable Stevenson. Was it hard to convince him to do it?
You know what? I said this before. We caught him at a vulnerable moment. Obviously, he's coming off a loss, and I do my best work when I notice someone's at a vulnerable moment. So that definitely helped us at the negotiating table. But yeah, Gable was down. Gable's down to do. He's down to have fun. I believe he's.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
It's Ice. Ice is calling to get me. Gable is down. He's down to go out there and have a scrap. You know, like, obviously, I hope he doesn't break my spine and leave permanent injury. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I do 100% intend to kiss him at the face-off as well.
The rule set is what? Is the rule set for the super fight the same as any of the other matches?
The quintet matches will just be 8 minutes.
Okay.
Last year in the tournament style, we did 3x5s and 5x5s for the final. This one will be 3 5-minute rounds scored just like a regular CGI match.
I see. Okay.
So I'm trying to go Helio Gracie style when he faced the massive judo dude and got his arm broken. Hopefully it's
Jigoro Kano.
Yeah, hopefully it's a role reversal here. Somebody getting hurt.
If I may, before I greatly respect you, but I have to ask this. Gable does have a weird relationship with the fans, stemming from a 2019 arrest. Now, ultimately, the charges were dropped. This is a sexual assault charge. I could be wrong about the actual terminology, so please forgive me. Some folks are wondering why you're doing business with him, to which you would say,
I mean, to be honest, I did not know about that until after the match, and I haven't discussed that with him once the contract was signed. You know, like I really don't know enough about it.
The only reason I heard about it is because I heard he had the thing with pro wrestling went poorly, and someone told me, I forget how long ago it was. They're like, oh, the fans turned on him, and I was like, well, why? And then they sent me some of the news articles about it, and I guess it has something to do with a law that was passed at the time that allowed him and this other guy to kind of skate, but it didn't necessarily exonerate them. I mean, it did in the legal sense, but not in the public perception sense. I mean,
it's obviously it's difficult. We had the and nothing on that scale. Obviously, we had to navigate the J-Rod situation in the gym, which was very difficult with being Nicky Rod's brother. We had some problems there, but yeah, like it's a difficult area to work through.
I understand.
I mean? Like it's like if we were to find individuals in the sport without skeletons in the closet, we'd probably have no event, unfortunately, you know. And there has been some pushback on one athlete in particular that I allowed to compete in this event. But yeah, we did do the deal with Gable, so I have to take all the heat for that. But like for the most part, like the teams, I'm trying to distance myself from that side of things by being like, I pick the coach picks the athletes, you know. But yeah, I think that's a difficult thing for, you know, all of combat sports, you know what I mean? Should try to navigate around people's what's happened in the past, you know, like it's
a challenge for every single promoter in the sport. I mean, it's what do you do? Can you have a puritanical version of promoting? I don't think that you can, but where do you draw the line? It's not really clear.
I mean, that's the difficult thing, right? Obviously my name's on the event, but yeah, there's like a lot of people going into it, so it's hard to find opponents that'll pull viewers in, you know. Like I'll have to look more into the Gable thing, but yeah, as far like from a person to person, it sounds like a cop out, but he seemed like a lovely guy, so I'm not exactly sure the details and what actually happened.
Tickets for CJI, how do folks get them?
I don't know the exact link, but if you go to Google and you go CJI2 tickets, there'll be 2 links. We've actually had a few ticketing issues. So if you're international, try to find the international site. If you're US based, find the domestic site. But if you use the team code words of the athletes, obviously they're great. They're great marketers, these athletes. They're sharing them every day. I have faith in them, no doubt. But you get a 10% discount if you use the athletes' codes.
Will it look the same this time as it looked? Because the same venue, Thomas and Mack Center. Is it going to any difference in production this time?
I mean, it's going to look the same. It's going to have the same alley, but obviously we have that Royal Rumble factor. So we're brainstorming now. We're going to do our final walkthrough end of July, and we're going to just brainstorm because obviously we have to deal with copyrighted music. I wish we could have some John Cena shit playing as people they do the reveal. So we have to sort of navigate how we're going to do those reveals, you know. Who knows what my walk-in will be? I haven't picked a song yet. I'm hoping that they can drop me from the sky to appear behind Gable and get a head start. But yeah, we're going to have some fun with the production. We're putting a lot of effort into the creative aspect of the production. I don't want it to be a boring run-of-the-mill cookie-cutter event.
Right. And then last but not least, if folks just want to get involved, learn more about the Good Fight Foundation, where can you send them?
All right. Yeah. I mean, if you look up Fair Fight Foundation, you see our website, you see sort of the things we're involved in. Right now, we're really largely working with Guardian program. So if you want to support Guardian, they take donations. If you want to donate your time, if you're a jiu-jitsu athlete or whatever yourself, you can go visit these schools. And like, yeah, that's for me, it's probably the most fulfilling work I've found is like, you can have a tangible change on these kids' lives. So for CGI1, a lot of money was donated to things like Tap Cancer Out, which is obviously cancer research. We donate money to a Ukrainian children's hospital. But in terms of like changing the sport of jiu-jitsu, building schools for kids around the world is something amazing because it's something tangible for people to see, get behind. You know what I mean? Like, unfortunately, like people just think, oh, donate to cancer research, drop in the bucket. But in terms of me building these schools, me and Seth building these schools for kids around the world, we get to go there, we get to meet the kids, we get to see how the school is helping them. So it's something tangible we get to kind of work with. And really, like, it's quite fulfilling to see the kids' lives stay on track. Fabricio Andres, under 66, Team Australia. That's it. That's the wild card. That's why I forgot. Fabricio is probably my favorite. He's probably my favorite athlete in the entire sport. He's one of the most exciting. He has this little Hokage thing he does before the matches. And in terms of a danger at 66, he has beaten Giancarlo Bodoni, and that is as big a wild card as you can get.
Craig Jones, it is quite the heavy lift you're undertaking. I think I couldn't imagine a better person to do it. Jiu-Jitsu is lucky to have you. Don't fucking die on America's roads, going place to place. But
don't tell us where I am. They're coming.
I won't tell Ice. But good luck with it. And I know this has been an awkward setup. Thank you for making some time and talking to us. And
invaded your personal space. Now I won't leave. No.
All right. Well, now I got a roommate.